Nikhil, what a match. What a final match against New Zealand. India were dominant since the beginning till the end. What a performance by the batsmen, the bowlers in this final match. They did it when it was needed the most.
Well, comparing teams, comparing different captains or comparing eras is always something that is fraught with danger. But on this one, I'm going to stick my neck out and say that yes, I think this is not just the best T20 team that India has ever assembled, but I'd have to say that this probably is the best T20 team ever assembled under the sun. And why is it that I say so? Yes, even when India went into this tournament, they were the defending T20 World Cup champion, which means that, prior to them as well, they were the best team on the planet. A few changes were made to that team. But I think in the last year or so, what we've seen from this Indian team, they've pushed the bar a couple of notches higher, which is to say that they are playing T20 cricket in a way that is the envy of the entire cricketing world. Yes, we won the T20 World Cup crown in 2007 under MS Dhoni, 2024 under Rohit Sharma, and all those occasions the Indian team was absolutely outstanding in their campaign and notched up few breathtaking wins. But this particular team, I think, at any given point of time is a sort of a benchmark that other teams want to follow. Everyone's talking about the template with which the Indian team plays, and the kind of totals they've been getting, the kind of fearless cricket that they're playing. I think this is going to be a sort of a blueprint for other teams to follow going forward. And right now as well, even before India took on to the field for the final, I think majority of the cricket analysts had put their necks out and said that, listen, this is the Indian team that is almost undefeatable. This is the Indian team that probably is unlikely to be beaten unless they have a very, very bad day. So all those factors put together, the kind of fearless cricket that this team is playing, I'd have to say, yes, the best T20 team ever.
And India have shattered records at, in fact, the T20 World Cup. There are several records that have been shattered by India in this final match with this victory. And India is the first nation to win the T20 World Cup thrice. And it's also the first host nation to emerge as the champion. And India is also the first nation to successfully defend the title. So all these things haven't happened any time before, and India is the first one to do so. The first host nation to win the T20 World Cup title, also the first nation to defend this title. India won the title in 2024 and have won it again in 2026. And they're also the first nation to win the T20 World Cup thrice. So, and in fact, India's total of 255 runs in the T20 World Cup final is also the highest ever total in T20 World Cup final. So many records have been shattered by India, and India have scripted history with this victory in the T20 World Cup. My colleague Siddharth continues to stay with us. Siddharth, let's also talk about Sanju Samson. What a beautiful inning played by Sanju Samson. He was once again the anchor batsman in this final match.
I mean, if you want to know the synonym of redemption, it is Sanju Samson. I mean, look at it. 1 month ago, prior to the T20 World Cup, 5 matches against New Zealand, he managed only 46 runs. In that final match at Thiruvananthapuram on his home ground, he could not even keep wickets. He was a forlorn figure, just wondering, what do I need to do? He was broken. He did admit in the presentation when he got the Player of the Match award that, yes, I was broken, I was devastated, I did not know what to do. But then 2 Mumbaikars really stole the show and helped Sanju Samson on the path to recovery. Sachin Tendulkar, the advice that he was giving, and Rohit Sharma. You would remember that during the first game, Rohit Sharma came up to Sanju Samson and said, look, Cheta, this is a long tournament. Be calm, be patient. And boy, oh boy, when he got the opportunity, didn't he capitalize or what? You have to look at the 22 of 9 that he hit against Namibia. because that ensured that India got a fast start. And the impact of Sanju goes far beyond his batting. When he was included in the Indian cricket team, opposition then felt, oh no, we have lost our opportunity now because they could not bowl off spin. The tactic to trouble the Indian players with the off spin ploy did not work. Sanju Samson then came up and played some magnificent knocks, three consecutive 50s. West Indies, then in the semi final against England, in which Sunil Gavaskar, the former India captain himself, mentioned that yes, he's batting on a different planet altogether. And now this knock in the final confirms that yes, the redemption story of Sanju Samson is complete. From the depths of despair to now sheer ecstasy, this is Sanju Samson, and India is grateful and smiling in a billion ways.
Absolutely, Siddharth. Sanju Samson proved himself match after match, and in fact also in the final match. Do stay with us. We also have nikhilnaz with us. Nikhil, do you think it was a one-sided final because the victory of India was almost certain when we were halfway through the New Zealand innings?
Yes, a one-sided final in the end. A 96-run win is effectively, not just a win. For the lack of a better word, I'd say it's a hammering, and that's what India gave New Zealand. But take a look at it from India's point of view, and I think it was a perfect game. Perfect game because you had multiple match winners on a given day. Abhishek Sharma, he was under the pressure. Many thought that maybe not play him in the final. He comes in, gets you that half century, reposes the faith that is instilled in him by the team management. After that, you had Sanju Samson, the best performing batter that you've had in the last few games, now also declared the player of the series. He is the highest run getter once again with 89. You have a cameo by Shivam Dube towards the end. Ishan Kishan, another consistent performer for you in this tournament, gets to the 50. And then all-round performances with a little bit with the bat and the ball. Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya stepping in. And then finally the cherry on top, Jasprit Bumrah, as he's always been the man of the match in this game. 4 wickets at an outstanding economy rate in a game where, India notched up 255. So all of those things put together, I think it was the perfect game for India. From New Zealand's point of view, I think they heard the captaincy left a lot to be desired from Santner. I think he made a few errors. One in his playing 11, leaving out the off-spinner in Mkonki because off-spinners had been troubling India. And then his bowling changes as well. Glenn Phillips just went for 5 runs in his 1 over, never got him back to bowl. So I think New Zealand in that sense also really not performing. But I think eventually this big margin is the other indicator, because I was hearing a lot of noise on social media complaining about the pitch and the nature of the pitch, saying it's a belter of a track. Do we need a track like that? And so in that sense, I'm glad that India beat New Zealand by a margin of 96 runs, goes on to prove to the naysayers that, listen, if you may have the best track on the planet, you still have to go and score the runs. You still need to have the skill to score those runs. India got 255 and New Zealand fell 96 run short. So there was definitely a difference in class, and I think that's what this final also proved.
Absolutely, Nikhil, and it was completely one-sided match. India's victory was certain when we were halfway through the New Zealand innings. The New Zealand team could have done a lot better as far as the final match is concerned. In fact, Team India's Hanuman Temple visit after scripting history and winning the T20 World Cup title. ICC Chief Jay Shah and Coach Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav, the captain, are offering prayers at the Hanuman Temple, and Surya Kumar Yadav and Gautam Gambhir prayed at the Hanuman Temple after this big victory. The big T20 World Cup victory. They visited the Hanuman Temple in Ahmedabad, and ICC Chairman Jay Shah and Team India head coach Gautam Gambhir along with skipper Surya Kumar Yadav offered prayers at the Hanuman Temple in Ahmedabad. As you can see in these visuals, this comes after the big victory in the T20 World Cup where India shattered records, scoring the highest total in a T20 World Cup final, also becoming the first host nation to win the T20 World Cup title and also becoming the first nation to defend the title. So the men in blue, remember, crushed New Zealand by 96 runs to lift the trophy. And my colleague Siddharth continues to stay with us. Siddharth, let's also talk about Abhishek Sharma. There were a lot of chatters about his poor form in this entire tournament and how he should even be dropped. He should not be considered for the playing 11 in the final match. But in the final match is what we saw Abhishek Sharma doing wonders. He scored 52 runs in the final match, and that too beautifully. It was full of boundaries, including sixes and fours.
You see, this is the thing, Anjali. When you back a player, what is the true strength of a leadership if your key player is down in form, but you continue to back him? Yes, you cannot do away with the naysayers who said that, yes, Abhishek Sharma is not in form. He started off the tournament, remember, 3 ducks. But there is a belief that Abhishek Sharma can be that X factor. And certain X factor players peak in clutch moments. And the final was one such event. There is a lot of parallels with what Abhishek Sharma did in 2026 to what Virat Kohli also did in 2024. Remember, even Virat Kohli didn't have a great run in the 2024 T20 World Cup. But in that particular final, it was a 76 of 59 that had ensured that we won. Here also, the start that you gave, 6 overs, 92 runs, India were not looking back from that particular period. And this is the real triumph of backing a player. I mean, when you look at leadership, there are certain captains who just say, okay, we will change the players according to the conditions, according to the situation. But certain players, like for example, Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit Sharma, they give the players a long rope. And Abhishek Sharma, Sanju Samson, whoever you look at it, they have benefited from the long rope that has been given despite poor form. So, Abhishek Sharma also has scripted a redemption story, and that is why the message has to go out. Persist with your key player. He will do well in the clutch moment. And boy, oh boy, didn't he deliver in that clutch moment in the final? And that is why the partnership that started ensured that India would reach 255. Because if Sanju doesn't get you, Abhishek will. If Sanju and Abhishek don't get you, Ishan Kishan will. And that is the way this team has molded itself into. They are not a champion team. They are a team of champions. And that
Absolutely.
is why this T20I side is dominant, dominant, dominant.
Absolutely. In fact, all the three players, all the three batsmen in the starting of the innings for India, they scored 50s, and that's also a record that has been set by India. Siddharth, thank you so much for joining us.